What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. Now, today we're gonna shoot a little piece of content, man. I'm just gonna randomly go to my feed on YouTube and I'm gonna select a piece of content and I'm gonna react to it. So, hope you guys are ready. Let's get it. Let's just type in Barber and see what comes up. All right, these ASMR dudes, they're crushing it. They're crushing it. This one 6 months ago got 3.2 million views and it's only 6 minutes long. So. Let's just react to this one. This one's called Insider. I've never heard of them.
On my social media presence, everybody know me as Get Beamed or Beam. Today I'm here to share what I do on an everyday basis with you guys.
Oh, it's Get Beamed. Must be getting featured by a different. Okay.
So right here, I'm getting the hair lifted off of the head. While lifting the hair off the head, I'm basically prepping it to be able to run my clippers or my machine smoothly through the hair so it won't snag. I believe I'm using a number 4 guard first because my client has calyx. That was something that I identified before picking the hair, knowing different hair growth patterns, and me running through with a bigger guard was helping me achieve, a more consistent and fuller look opposed to taking it down way too low.
All right, just so you guys know, Get Beam's kind of like the scientist of haircutting. I really respect this dude. I think he's one of the most talented in the game. So, all right, we're going to see what clipper he winds up using here. But I think that was kind of smart to go at this against the grain with the 4 because he's obviously going to come back and lay his hair down, I think. But at the same time, like, he wanted to see some of these growth patterns and stuff. So let's see where it goes from here. He's going to put this guideline in. Looks like he's going to put it in with the trimmer facing down.
I'm giving my client like a lower ball taper, but I'll basically, exaggerate the C cups in this haircut. So I want to start my taper low, but I'm creating a rainbow shape to ensure that I can set up this bursted look in the side taper area. This is another important step right here. I use the number 2 guard, and using my number 2 guard in this part of the haircut is ensuring that I don't cut his hair too low, because if the more hair you take away from the beginning, you can never get the hair back.
Yeah, it sounds like what he's saying is he wants to create that contrast. And when you get right down to, I'm not really sure why he's hopping between the wall senior so much. But if you notice, his guidelines were pretty tight. They were pretty. They weren't like as thick as the width of a finger. Like he's trying to keep this one a little bit lower for sure.
But the less hair you take away, you can seamlessly watch it transition. I'm basically staying in a rainbow-like motion opposed to my guideline being straight across. That rainbow is going to give me this bursted effect. And now we start in the back taper. Remember, like, whatever you do to one side, you do to every side of the haircut to keep this consistent look, to keep a flush look. So I start my ball line off here and I'll repeat some of the same steps. Yep, this is just consistency right here. Following the steps and the techniques to just keep you consistent throughout the haircut. I'm just raking this hair out right now, and I'm trying to just, preserve as much bulk, but keep it consistent to get a nice flush taper. Using the corners of my blade to feed certain hairs through the teeth, just to ensure that I can create.
I couldn't really tell. Like, it might have been the number 1 there that he used before he went to this step. I couldn't really make it out. We'll definitely skip it through. I guess Insider wants to like hurry up and get shit done so they can get a lot of views. But if you go watch Get Beam's channel, he's real thorough and really explains this stuff.
A seamless transition. I cut this client from an afro to like a wave length haircut. I want to ensure that I can get all of his hair brought forward to me, bring everything forward and everything laid down. The wrapping lotion basically is served to bring all of the hair forward and lay all of the hair completely flat for me, prepping it for the lineup. Because his hair's so used to sticking up that I want to pull it forward and lay it down. I want the hair to look like he's never had an afro before. Now, most important.
That's a pretty clutch tip right there. Like, in all honesty, like before he even began to try to cut all those flyaways and get this hair to start laying down a little better, he used that product. I think that's a real good clutch step to use, especially when hair needs time to relax.
Step, I got my clippers completely closed and I'm floating over the client hair, knocking off all of the loose hairs that are sticking up just to make the haircut look that much more smooth and that much more laid down. My next steps is to basically go into this haircut, and I want to give his beard some depth. He has a full beard already, but I want to give it more of a fuller, a richer, a darker look. But also I want to start to set in my boundaries. So right now I'm framing out. My frame out work is the most important work throughout my whole haircut. You want to give it a natural look, but you also want it to be consistent. I'm using a form of hairspray to lock the beard in, just to give it, more of a nice crispier look. Now I go into, my lineup work. Now that I broke the border of the beard out, my lineup work on the nape area. I like to do my vertical bars. I'll start off with my clippers straight, and I'll bring the nape down to like a slight V. Most important part, using my center point.
He definitely had more to say there. He had a lot more to say there, but I think they made a little cut right there. But yo, this thing is coming together real nice.
Which is my nose area. I'll take the nose and I'll put my clippers right above the nose. That's my center point area. It'll just keep me centered and keep me straight and symmetrical. This is how I start to create precision throughout a haircut. I make a lot of decisions as I go. Sometimes I'll run into, simple things. How high I want the taper, how low I want the taper. Working myself to the left, slowly but surely. Just trying to ensure that I can create a nice natural lineup before any additives to this haircut. And now I want to go in using, 3 of my products, my color card, using my own color, and using my...
I'm just going to say right now, I love those color cards, and I love that color. I think it's the best color going. It's my personal favorite. And you know what? Shout out to Tune 45 for always keeping me in the loop. They always send me some of their latest and greatest products, and I got their pencils too. I love them.
Cordless compressor that I designed from scratch, and we're basically adding color. We're giving the client a more richer, a more fuller look. When using any enhancements or any additives, I just basically consider this as an added.
Just a quick question. Do you guys like enhancements? Do you enjoy enhancements? I just want to hear your opinion. Drop it in the comments. I'm gonna tell you right now, I almost feel like at this point the haircut is incomplete without them. I love them. I absolutely love them.
Service. This is how you give the client a different level of confidence. You give it some pop, some flash, this modern day look. My pencil is basically served as a concealer. Think of how women do their eyebrows. They'll basically shape their eyebrows or get them waxed, and then they'll add any additives or color to tint the eyebrow, make it darker. So I'm basically just manipulating things that I see in other industries, adding them to my current day service, and it's just giving the client an extra pop, extra flair, and a nice, crispy, clean look. The hardest...
Tell me right now that that's not making that pop out and just look amazing, especially on camera. All right, I understand it might be a little much for every single person in the world, but yo, that thing looks super fresh.
This part to get right in any haircut is client satisfactory, because I feel like anybody can really create a nice haircut, but it's up to the client. And if the client feels like $1 million walking out the shop, honestly, it doesn't even matter what the haircut look like, because if you can service somebody and make them feel like, yeah, this is it, that's it. That's the hardest part. And now stretching the skin, angling my razor at a 45-degree angle, bringing everything back to the highest points, and using advanced technique, which is called backstroking now, which is when you flip the razor, away from you and you scoot away from you. This is like a dangerous technique to any amateur that's out there. I didn't start backstroking with my razor until maybe my 10th year in Barber, and this is what happens when you become more of a vet at what you do. I didn't get real comfortable with my razor. It's like my number one partner in crime. So now cleaning up the top of the eyebrows.
I mean, they're really he's not wrong about that. It could be really easy to make a mistake when you're kind of like moving backwards like that. Like if I were you guys, I would just come over and come forward. I'd prefer especially as a student, I'd prefer to see you guys pull rather than push. If you push, it's just like in mechanic work. You could push, you could break a knuckle, super easy. But if you're trying to tighten that bolt or loosen that bolt, if you can pull on it, you're definitely gonna have more control.
You guys can see my client is more of a hairier client. I just want to ensure that when he leave the barbershop, he's completely clean. Tend to things like this, they've never had these services before, never had their eyebrows cleaned up, but it also brings more of their facial features out and get more of a clean look. And
Well, I'm
now
getting hyped.
oil sheen in the client hair, doing my final spin, and that's perfect. Symmetry's there. It's clean. That's a really good haircut. That is a really good haircut.
I absolutely love that haircut. Get Beam, you're so talented, bro. And you know, sometimes, man, I really struggle to get my edge ups to look like yours. I swear I do. And I love watching your videos because I know it helps me to grow. And even though I've been in this game a long time, like, I think it's really important that everybody keeps their eyes open and keeps that ability to learn alive. All right, because if you walking around life with your ears plugged, la 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 la, you're never gonna learn nothing, man. There's game to be picked up around here. And thank God for this YouTube thing, and thank God for, you know, other creators and people being able to get out here and do this now, because like when I went to school, this was not available. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this reactionary video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.